Hello, Steve Lockhart with you again. Now, the video I'm producing today is covering a pain that's very common and a lot of people seem to be bothered by it, and that is neck pain, shoulder pain, trap pain, that pressure and pain that people get in their upper back and neck area. And it causes things like headaches, painful shoulders, difficulty sleeping because of, you get woken up with nerve pain, generally lack of flexibility, and it definitely brings you down and just makes you feel very flat and, stoop, all these sort of negative things that you see with people who suffer from a lot of tension and pain in their upper back, traps, neck area. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about this problem, and they're pretty disappointing actually, because they don't cover the really important things that I think you need to know if you want to get a long-term relief or improvement in this area. The videos out there are very much about stretching, exercises, putting heat on the area and this sort of thing, and they don't do a lot for changing the condition of the muscles that have taken you to the point where you're in pain and you get this stiffness and soreness that just doesn't really want to let up. Now, the thing that you really know, and I mean, if you've been watching my videos a lot, you'll already have heard me talking very much about posture. And we have a problem if our posture tilts us to one side, twists us, causes us to get into an unbalanced situation. Because carrying that weight and that pressure of gravity and our body weight will eventually wear us down. It will eventually build up, causing muscles to overwork and build up tension that affects circulation. And generally what happens when you get that situation arises for any length of time is the physiology of the muscles will change. And so what used to feel like a soft, supple, healthy muscle becomes very hard and bony and, calcified, dry, and it really doesn't give you that movement and flexibility that you may have once had when you were younger. So if you're going to get rid of your neck and shoulder and trap pain, you really have to concentrate on getting rid of this hardness and stiffness and lack of circulation in that area, and you really want to try and get yourself back to the healthier, softer, supple tissue that you used to have. And the way to do that is to do two things, right? First of all, you must build a nice straight foundation under your shoulders and neck. It's no good if your head's being pulled to one side, you've got a shoulder that drops on one side, or there's an obvious leaning of your weight one way or the other. And then trying to loosen it up by, say, doing stretches where you're pulling your head to the side, or you're pulling your arm back and trying to get the stretch, which is really going to do nothing except maybe work on the joints a little bit, get your joints a little bit looser, but ultimately it's not going to change that tissue and get the blood moving through the area the way it should. So I always tell everybody the first thing you need to do is make sure your pelvis is nice and level and in the neutral position. Not twisted, not tilted, not twisted and tilted. It has to be in a nice level position, because from that you build your spine, and your spine wants to be nice and straight. Then above your spine you have your shoulder, the whole shoulder girdle, shoulder unit, which is going to follow your pelvis. So if your pelvis is twisted or tilted, your shoulders are going to twist and tilt as well. They go together. And if you try and release your shoulders and you don't release your pelvis and get them both nice and straight with a straight spine in the middle, anything you do is going to be short-lived. And you might take the tension and pain out of your neck and shoulders, but you'll push it down to your lower back. So you do need to have that structure of your body in a nice symmetry. Okay, that's thing number one. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to get blood flow, blood and oxygen and nutrients through the tissue. You have to reverse the hardness and dryness and stiffness that's got in there, and you have to get it back to a supple, healthy condition. And the best way to do that is a combination of eating well, eating good foods with low acid, an alkaline type diet, and getting gentle movement that's going to just grease the wheels, as it were, and just keeping movement over a long period of time into that area. You know, when I work on people, I find that the typical office worker is a lot stiffer and tighter and harder in their back and shoulders than, say, someone that's out doing, you know, a manual job where they're moving and lifting and you know, constantly turning and twisting and doing things with their body all day. Now, you can do too much, and obviously, you know, if you had a hard job that worked your shoulders and your upper back area a lot, and you were doing that for 8 hours a day, day after day after day, you start to bring in muscle fatigue and these other sort of problems. And I would always say to people that even when you get your neck and shoulders into a comfortable position where it's giving you no pain, I would really suggest that you have to maintain it. You can't just do it and leave it and expect it to last for, you know, more than, say, a few months. So that constant maintenance is also a constant improvement in the condition of the tissue, getting all that hardness and toughness out of it and getting the blood and oxygen coming through to help lubricate it and help get the tissue to be healthier again. So a daily routine where you incorporate some work on your, you know, neck and shoulders, maybe 3 of those days a week, will ensure that you stay pain-free. You know, you get your full movement and flexibility of your neck and shoulders, and at the same time, as you age, you won't deteriorate like a lot of people are. So forget the stretches, forget the hot packs. The hot packs are okay. They can be used after you do your little exercise routines, but really anything that's pulling and just focusing on that area, not looking at what the rest of the body's doing, that's just trying to, you know, drag some looseness into the area, it just won't work. And I'm sure if you've suffered from neck pain and conditions and problems, then you're going to agree with me 100%. These things don't work. So what does work? Okay, I've got a really good little exercise for you to try. And the best part about it, all you need is a broom handle, okay? So you put the broom handle across your shoulders and it comes out, you know, wider than your girth, obviously. You hang your arms over the end of the broom handle so you're nice and relaxed and loose, and you start turning your body from side to side. And you just do whatever comes easy with the movement. You don't want to force it, you don't want to pull any muscles while you're doing it, you just want to turn your body from side to side, and you get a bit of a swinging action up. And the most important thing while you're doing that is to lock your hips in straight ahead and to lock your head in straight ahead. So you're looking straight ahead, your hips are pointing straight ahead, and they don't move. All the movement is in the back, around the spine, and up into the shoulders. And when you're doing it, you really want to make sure that you're not switching your shoulder and arm muscles on. So really hang them on the end of that broom handle so that everything's relaxed as it's moving. Now you can appreciate that if you do this and you are turning those shoulders, say for, you know, I like to say 100 turns twice a day, morning and night. And if you're doing that repeatedly over week after week, you're going to find the suppleness and balance creeping into your whole shoulder and neck area, and it freeing up, and a lot of that pain and tension that you're probably suffering from disappearing. It's a really simple exercise. Now after you do the shoulder exercise with the broom handle, you can also lay down on the floor with a heat pack, and you can pump the heat into the area, get that blood and oxygen flowing, and always drink lots of water, eat well, and do everything else you can. Get your 8 hours sleep if possible, and you know, think about the way you're sitting. When you're sitting, say, watching television, try and sit back in the chair, relaxing your back, your neck and shoulders. Even put your head back if you can, because every time you're holding yourself up in gravity there and your head's balancing on your shoulders, it's not being supported, it is creating work for the muscles, and it is fatiguing because it's like a static work. So I like to tell people that whenever you get the opportunity, try and let the tension go in your shoulders and back and neck. Okay? If you're doing this exercise at the beginning of the day, it's like a warm-up, and then at the end of the day, it's like taking all the tension back out from the day. And after that, you want to pop into bed, or if you are sitting up for a while, really try and relax your upper back and put your head back and let the tension go. So remember, when you're doing this exercise, you need to have a nice tall body. You want your shoulders back. You want to feel that the work is going in behind the shoulders there, in that upper back area, all around the back of the shoulders, up around those traps and neck, and just 100 turns every morning, 100 turns every night. It's a really simple exercise, cost you $7 or something for a broom handle. Have it in the corner of your room where you're going to see it all the time, and trust me, do this every day, and after a month or two, I guarantee you will feel a lot better every day in your neck and shoulders. Now, I've got some other really good tips for those areas, so I'm going to talk to you about that in a future video, but start with this one because it's very general, it's very easy, and it really does work. Okay, I hope you enjoy the tip, and please post a comment at the bottom if you've got some feedback for me, and please like or subscribe the channel, and you'll see the next videos that come out as soon as I get the time to do them. Thanks a lot. If you like the video, please click the thumbs up symbol. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified every time I post a new video.